Go back and play.
This not only complemented their adult.
How does crafting work in Last Epoch? If you're familiar with crafting in Diablo 3, where items are just made and you get to use them or not, Last Epoch is very different, because you find the items you craft on the ground. Now, if you're familiar with Path of Exile, where a lot of your crafting starts from a white base and is built up, it's also very different again, because in Last Epoch, you want to start with a higher rarity item, specifically Exalted. Due to how Last Epoch's crafting system is set up, it's always easier to craft with items that already have mods, rather than starting from scratch. Now overall, Last Epoch's crafting system is fairly easy to understand and get into, but there are a few points of nuance that I'll cover towards the end of the video. For now, let's go over all the basics that you need to know to start crafting in Last Epoch. The first thing to pay attention to with any item is the forging potential. Forging potential is essentially how much you can craft an item, because every time you apply a craft, the forging potential will be reduced by a random number.
Not happening.
Because it's random, sometimes you'll get lucky and craft the item for a long time. Other times you'll get unlucky and only get to apply a few modifiers. So you have to think about things carefully, but in general, the higher the forging potential, the better the item is as a crafting base. And the higher an item's rarity, the higher the forging potential is going to be. The default keybind for the crafting screen is F for Forge. You'll put your piece of gear in, and then you have a series of choices to make. The first is if you want to use a glyph. The four glyph types are Hope, which has a 25% chance to cost no crafting potential. This is something that you want to spam, especially as you're crafting items over and over again. Glyph of Chaos, which randomly re-rolls the modifier when it upgrades it. So for example, on this weapon I have tier 2 cold damage. I can use a Glyph of Chaos and upgrade with tier 2 cold damage to tier 3 while randomly re-rolling the modifier, which might be a good idea if this is, say, a poison weapon that doesn't benefit from cold damage. Next up, you have a Glyph of Order, which modifies a craft, preventing a roll of an affix from changing within its range. There honestly aren't very many uses for Glyph of Order, but in theory if an item has a really big roll range and you're already near the top, it can't hurt to use it occasionally. But keep in mind, it will cost more forging potential than if you used Glyph of Hope. And finally, Glyph of Despair. This is an endgame crafting option which allows you to seal a modifier. It's easier to seal lower tier mods than higher tier mods. This means you often want to use Glyph of Despair on tier 1 or 2 mods. A sealed mod is kind of put to the side. It can't be modified further, but it's also on the item in a 5th special slot for sealed modifiers only. This is a great way to increase an item's total power, and yes, you can seal a mod from upgrading from T4 to T5, but this outcome is extremely rare, so don't count on it happening too often.
Yes.
Next up, you'll want to apply a modifier to the item. This can be done in any open mod slot. So, this weapon, for example, has open mod slots. There are 2 prefixes and 1 suffix. Crafting shards can be used to upgrade the existing prefixes. These are listed right next to the mod. Or you can click the plus symbol to bring up a list of all the suffixes which you could apply to the item. Every time you craft, a random amount of crafting potential is consumed, and the higher tier of mod you're crafting, the broader the range of random consumption is. So it's advantageous to craft lower tier mods first and then higher tier. For a simple rule of thumb, craft your item evenly. This also maximizes the benefit of any critical success you achieve.
Interested in another try?
While crafting, there's a random chance to get a critical success. In the case of a critical success, you'll get a free tier added to any other affix on the item.
Not bad.
At least assuming there's an open affix below tier 5. Should you get lucky with a few critical successes, you'll make some incredible items. Therefore, it's always better to craft from the bottom up to maximize your chances of success. Well, I say always, but I'll get into one exception a little bit later in the video. A Rune of Shattering destroys an item, creating random affix shards based on the mods. This is useful if you want crafting shards to make something else, and the item has stuff you need.
Slow down there, pal.
Next up we have Rune of Refinement, which you can think of as a Divine Orb from PoE. It rerolls the modifier values of everything on the item, or at least all 4 explicits. Then we have Rune of Removal, which removes a random affix on the item, returning a number of shards equal to its tier. This can be useful if an item has 3 mods you want and 1 you don't, or it can also be useful if an item has a fairly rare modifier and you want to maximize the shards returned. Then we have the Rune of Discovery, which adds random tier 1 affixes to all empty affix slots on an item, and has an increased chance of rolling rare affixes. It's mostly good for grabbing crafting shards in my opinion, even if it doesn't cost any forging potential, so sometimes picking up white items and using them can be beneficial, especially in a slow self-back playthrough. Rune of Shaping works exactly like Rune of Refinement, but for your implicits rather than your explicits. Rune of Ascendance changes an item into a unique. Think of it like a Chancellor from Path of Exile, but with a guaranteed upgrade. And the rules for using it are explained quite nicely on the item. If you want a very rare unique, your odds aren't great, but more common things aren't that bad to get. Then finally, the extremely rare Rune of Creation acts much like a mirror in Path of Exile. It creates an exact copy of an item, but sets both the original and the copy to 0 forging potential. This can be good if you get a really good ring, or better yet, it can be great for copying a really rare item base which you want to turn into a legendary. Because of the way the crafting system works, setting up your loot filter to highlight items with 2 or 3 good mods is a really easy way to get crafting bases. In general, you don't want to make things from scratch unless it's a weapon. Next up, I have a few advanced crafting tips. Before I do though, a quick reminder that if you're enjoying the video, you should leave a like. And if you want more lasting thought content, do be sure to get subscribed. Especially because I'm almost done with this build, and after I release a video on it, I'm going to go on to something else really powerful and super fun. And if you're not subscribed, you might end up missing it. Now with that said, what are some advanced crafting tips? First off, Rune of Removal for items that have rare shards. It's pretty easy to get something like increased damage over time shards, but often class-specific skill level shards are quite difficult to obtain. They don't drop too often, and it can be a pain to shatter a bunch of items. So if you get a T5 or even T6 mod, which you're not going to use, I suggest using a Rune of Removal. Rather than a Rune of Shattering. And another specific crafting tip. Again, normally you want to craft from the lowest tiers first. The exception is when you don't need the mods to hit tier 5. Like the weapon I mentioned earlier, or another more niche example would be if you're using a specific resistance for a suffix, and let's say you need T3 to cap. Well, you're already capped at T3, you might as well take all the other mods on the item up to T5, so that you have no risk of running out of forging potential before you hit your goal. Because if you're stuck with a T3 resist, it's already giving you everything that you need. Also, it's sometimes well worth it to use a Glyph of Chaos over a Rune of Removal. This won't free up a modifier slot. It can very well give you what you want. A good example of this is if you have something like Dodge as a suffix, and you can use pretty much any resistance, health, or endurance. There's so many good outcomes that taking a random chance is definitely a gamble you're willing to make. Another example might be a prefix for boots. The amount of boot prefixes are fairly limited, and if you already have something like movement speed on your boots, rerolling that last prefix gives you pretty good odds of hitting what you want before you run out of forging potential or tiers on the modifier, since you can't use a Glyph of Chaos on a tier 5 mod. And finally, you can make legendary items by combining a unique with legendary potential and a 4 mod exalted item. Mod sealed by Glyph of Despair will not be taken into account when doing the legendary crafting process. Instead, 1 to 4 of the existing modifiers on the item will randomly be transferred. 4 LP legendaries are among the most powerful items to exist in Last Epoch, but they're also exceptionally rare. So more often
poisons we apply afterwards will just stats that you can replace hearing here. So I do have a bleeding heart, mainly the damage over time and the Ellie res matters, but obviously these are just stats that you can replace. replace stuff later on. Having a bleeding heart's really strong though because it's a low level LP leech, meaning that you can easily get LP on it and throw some resistance on it, throw some damage on it. So, and of course the leech is insane with dots. Each tick of dot gives you a leech stack instead of just being always once like the crit build. So that's really nice. And for the helmet, this helmet's absolute freaking garbage, man. You could probably get way better than this. I would assume you'd want vitality, poison duration, HP, endurance, and then probably sealed at HP. Umbral Visage is really good. And for our chest here, I actually sealed away the poison res. If you don't know, sealing away items is a little bit easier than using like a rune removal when you get rid of an item. It's easier, it's cheaper, and doesn't cost as much fortune potential, which is really nice. And of course, HP, throwing attack speed, vitality, obviously. This chest HP is really high. But like obviously, the throwing attack speed is the most important thing because since we're running a Assault the Wounds, our throwing attack speed is a little lackluster because throwing attack speed is in the gloves and the rings. As you tell, I have it in the gloves and the rings. The glove because obviously if you can give LP Salt the Wound, throwing attack speed is but acid flask still remains to be the best. Throwing attack speed implicit is really strong for builds like this. You need that. Then for the, I'm not going to show this katana, I'm going to show this katana because this is literally the perfect katana. I am so sad I didn't get to Rune of Creation this because this is insane. The poison damage, obviously, increased damage you want as much as possible. You want it on a katana because the crit multi prefix, obviously, what tier 5 does. And then for a for a sealed, you want to seal probably chance and then have poison chance and dodge rating. That's what I would seal, try to seal. Obviously you could try to seal percentage damage as well, but it doesn't really matter. And of course the percentage dodge, as you can tell, is T7 dodge rating, 130% dodge. That is a lot of dodge percentage, as you can tell, and one of the main reasons when I do this, I get a crud ton of dodge. So look at that, look at that dodge, look at that, it's insane, isn't it? Obviously I wish I would have Rune of Creation this build would have been even crazier, but I was not that lucky. And of course poison on hit, you can always go bleed on hit as well because it gets treated as poison on hit for underworlds. And of course the other thing on the other side doesn't matter. Ring here, throwing attack speed, damage over time, minus throwing attack speed. This is like the perfect ring because you want minus throwing attack speed. You only need one though because it's 3 mana cost, so you only need 1 minus 3, and the other could be like damage over time, dexterity, whatever else. Resistance, crit avoid, endurance, you know, the usual. For the belt, poison percentage, cleanse, HP, LP Thorn Slinger would be very good for this build. With like HP on it because it has lead on hit and it has +1 to fizz skills, which is Fungal Blades and all that. So this would definitely be something looking for LP and slamming HP on it. Then of course, gloves, Salt the Wounds. I can show you why Salt the Wounds is stronger. Poison damage, 2.7. 129 really doubles my poison damage, and this is actually lying to you because it's not taking into account the poison shred that gets affected by the poison effect, which then double dips, and then of course we get the environmental damage from this here. It might bleed though. It's disgusting. And of course boots with as much HP, crit avoid, HP, like it is like your stereotypical. And here I got really lucky on this one. Got some resistances, some damage over time and stuff. Not really much different here. You can either use the bleed chance base with fire res, or you can use the poison on hit base as well, because both of them work for you. Which is one of the cool things about this build is all of your gears very easily slotted in, because like you can use the bleed chance base, you can use the poison base. It doesn't really matter. You can have poison on hit, you can have bleed on hit. It doesn't really matter what you have as long as you have it, right? Then for the idols, we obviously want the crit multi while dual wielding. One of the main problems of Salt the Wound with poison effectiveness stacking is we require a lot of crit multi to make it work. As you can tell, I have 471% crit multi, and that is thanks to these and katanas here. So 18 crit multi while dual wielding. This dodge it hit recently. This is insane. this is your perfect idol because with all that percentage dodge that we have, all that percentage dodge that we have, it means that whenever we get hit at least once, and even if we trigger like a dust round, we'll jump up to like 50% dodge, which is like pretty damn good. Of course, crit multiple dual wielding, and of course, bleed chance per equipped sword. This is really strong because it gives us bleed chance because we have swords, and of course, dodge if hit recently. Of course, this is a really strong mod for this kind of build that stacks so much dodge percentage. Of course, I have resistance idols. You don't need these. My resistance.
Often you're going to be transferring 1 or 2 mods, maybe 3 if you're greedy. This means you have to think carefully about what fabrics could be and what your desired outcomes are. Ideally, you use a base item that has 4 mods which you'd want to see on the final item, but that also means destroying a rare and potentially valuable centerpiece of another build, so legendaries should always be crafted with caution. Though in the case of things like boss drops that are fairly easy to target farm, it can also pay off to just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, which is exactly what I did with this pair of gloves. And so that's a beginner's guide to crafting in Last Epoch, and a few advanced tips and
The old campaign.
A new survivalist ascendancy with an interesting
I
dynamic
think
with
they'll
the
change
skill
that.
tree
I hope so,
having
yeah.
defensive options on the left side and offensive options on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
One of the offensive options, Division, grants you 2 copies of compatible skills socketed in your bow, one supported by GMP and the other by Barrage.
That's really cool.
Potentially
Holy
2
shit.
7 links. The survivalist will also have an ascended-like choice between Fork, Pierce, and Chain.
And I feel like what's really so nice about that is like that's such a quality of life for a bow user. Because like how many of you guys like have something like that
you
whenever
piece
you
of
play
shit.
like with a bow build?
Piece of shit, Daddy. What's up?
And it's like you want to have 2 6-link spells, like 1 for single target, 1 for clear, but you don't really want to deal with it. So you either decide to use like you probably use your
Different character.
spell for single
I
target.
throw
it
knives
pisses
and then
you
they
off.
blow up.
How many of y'all did that? I did that many times. It
Knives go
sucks.
boom.
And the multiplication skill that allows you to save your projectiles
2
to build
weapons,
up
yeah.
larger
Oh
bursts.
my god, gem swap.
On
Oh
the
my
defensive
god.
side, we have spell avoidance, which converts your evasion into spell evasion. Spell accuracy, anyone? The ranger will also be given
Nice,
the beast
so you just chill them
which
off.
heavily supports the new shape-shifting abilities that will be coming in Path of Exile 2.
Oh, this is like Diablo 4. They stole this from Diablo 4. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe it.
This ascendancy will
If you don't know that's on. Yeah. What then? Out of curiosity, because like, man. Oh, I can. I might be able to fix it. Oh no, it's actually on PC to fix it. Hold on a second. Is it okay now? Hello? It's. I know it's favor, but what were you thinking about? What were you doing? Because like, there's so much shit that you can do. The background noise you'll probably still hear. But like, there's like, what you get like people want like some people just want like transcripts for like PowerPoints and shit, and like stuff so you can just put the video into a program and then get the text, the transcript, and just send it to them. Like there's so many ways, easy ways to make money on Fiverr, or even put your thing up, get like put your Fiverr thing up, and then get someone to request something for you, and then you go to someone else to request them, like that's a wee bit cheaper, and then just do it, just make it a loop. Like some of the shit people do, man. I was watching a video recently, and like some people don't even do work; they just make other people do the work, and then put their thing up. It's fucking. It's dodgy as fuck, but it probably work. Like I can see it working. It is just a scam. Like it's like you're basically charging more for something. Like you're still paying the person, but you're paying less, and then making money from their work essentially. You know what I mean? But there's ones that use like AI programs and stuff. Like I guess it would be drop shipping. Yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah, but like there's a lot of shit that you can do in Fire. I just never really messed with it. Oh yeah, Hawk, you should try Diablo this weekend. It's like this year. Diablo 4 open beta is this weekend. You should give it a go. It's free. Well, the open beta is free. I played it last weekend.
The work at
I'll show you what it looks like if you want. The opening for it's really cool. It's on Battle.net. But yeah, here's what it looks like.
So we got a lot of
It looks like what I'm playing basically,
for
but
Diablo 4,
it's a lot simpler. Like it's good for like
including a brand new interview with the game's director.
What's up guys, today is an awesome day because we're talking about Diablo 4. And while I'm not as much of an OG fan as some of you that date back to Diablo,
I don't know if you'd get it, you'd bad, but you can try it and see what you think.
I did play a lot of Diablo 3 and spent many hours looking into Diablo 2 as it's definitely regarded.
It's not, I'm trying to see if I can get like maybe a rogue build.
What's up guys?
I played
This
Sorcerer
is
when I
Quar
played.
and welcome to a quick guide on Rogue for Diablo 4 from the beta, giving you a taste of how good Rogue class might look on launch.
Look at this here, like just shows you how long it's been since Diablo 3 came out. Look at this here. It's on the open beta was last week, or the closed beta was last week, but the open beta will be Friday. I played the closed beta, but like it opens on Friday.
Want to gather a bunch of good legendaries. Now in the beta, legendaries are super common.
It's this week. It's on for the weekend.
That might change full game, but they
But yeah, look what Diablo 3 looked like, and then Diablo 4 now. Like look at the difference. Oh yeah, did you see the new Fortnite creative thing? Look at this here shit. Like you wouldn't like. It's hard to believe this is Fortnite. Oh, where is it? Here down. On oh yeah, people like. On where's the thing? Look at this.
Wow.
Oh, bro, come on. Why give it shitty quality?
Wow.
You got good quality video. Come on.
Wow.
Like the skin puts it off so much. Like it's on low
Guys,
quality for some reason.
You got. I don't think a lot of people are fully like understanding. Like this is Fortnite. I'm literally in Fortnite right now, right? And this was made.
I'll just go to YouTube. Because the Pi Creative 2.0.
Players had never seen before in a game. Global illumination. The player in the video.
There you go. Oh, yeah, two people are like they're trying like there's two teams trying to recreate the original Fortnite map as fast as they can. It looks really good, doesn't it? Like you wouldn't like if it was done right, you wouldn't even think it's Fortnite apart from the skins. gonna be crazy to see what people make.
Epic just dropped the Unreal editor for Fortnite, and it's so guys, they just dropped
Eh.
the Unreal editor for Fortnite, and this is the first demo right here we're checking out. As you can see, this change. You can add your own voice lines and music into the game right now using the Unreal editor.
Like people will just make their own games.
Pick up basic sword. Movement still looks like Fortnite, but in today's live stream, they talked about how they want to allow you to keep progressing it to where it's not even going to look like
Look at that
Fortnite.
shit.
And they're going to add all of the capabilities of Unreal Engine 5 into the Unreal editor for Fortnite. So what does this mean for the game? What does this mean exactly? People now have access to this. It's in the open. It's in the public. Game developers and people who are
People legit just gonna make their own games in Fortnite now.
their own experiences in Fortnite, their own story modes, their own multiplayer games. And they can take the content, the 4+ years of content that Fortnite already has available, and they can create stuff that's custom or that's different or that's similar to Fortnite, or just go, dude, this is a cutscene, by the way. You can start adding cutscenes into your creative modes. Oh my God. Oh, what was this? Oh, it's just a coin. And then there's another cutscene right here. We're zooming out. Look at this FOV right here. As far as adding unique mechanics to the game, there's going to
It's gonna be cool today.
be even more. There's actually I kind of want to touch. Oh, look, some keys. They're shiny. I already love the use of the like custom music and sound effects.
I made like a horror
And in
game.
first person mode, I have like this weird first person look. Even though it's like not official first person support, there's definitely some like ah, I knew this shelf was a secret vault.
It's gonna be cool today.
Skill, a high crit shapeshifting ability which you won't be able to find anywhere else. You'll also be able to spec into Wild Shape to massively improve shapeshifting bonuses and keep those bonuses even when you're in human form. Ally of the Wild will give you a nice little companion that will work like a golem and provide buffs. You can
I think that's really cool to have something that's not a necromancer that has different different
Yeah,
minions and
that'd be
stuff.
cool,
That's a
like-
really cool idea.
You can specialize into which type of companion you need.
And this one makes the most sense.
The Ranger's third new ascendancy, the Tactician, is possibly the most ambitious of them all.
What's that?
The Tactician will be able
Hey,
to
did
continuously
you see
bombard areas.
So they're making like Counter-Strike 2's out this summer.
With over 20 years of history, honing strategies and
The smoke stuff seems pretty cool.
own maps.
It's basically just an update to the new engine.
Classic maps with solid facts have
Like it's just an upgrade to the Source 2 engine.
them that produces realistic
'Cause I think like Overwatch 2 and like Modern Warfare 2.
overhauls. The oldest maps have been fully rebuilt from the ground up,
The smoke
leveraging
thing
all
was
of
cool.
the Source 2 tools and rendering features.
Hey, look at this.
In a Counter-Strike match, information can mean the difference between success or failure. As a result, smoke grenades have become a cornerstone of team tactics. With Counter-Strike 2's new game engine, we've evolved smokes and made them dynamic. Smoke grenades now create volumetric 3D objects that live in the world.
What do you mean? It's replacing Counter-Strike Go. It's just gonna be this.
Now, not only do all players see the same smoke regardless of position, but the smoke can interact with the environment in interesting ways. It reacts to lighting, grows to fill spaces naturally. The shape of the smoke cloud can be pushed and carved by bullets and grenades. In Counter-Strike 2, smoke grenades provide even more tactical opportunities. They're just going to look and play better.
Like, it's just the same game.
Areas with raining arrows, and even gain multiple uses of this skill, which will prevent enemies from attacking at range. Meanwhile, the Siege Warfare and Siege Breaker notables will provide massive buffs to your totems, like ensnaring enemies and making them take more ranged attack damage,
That's
and allowing
cool.
The Source 2 engine.
the most recently placed totems.
It's just an upgraded engine.
But the most interesting of all,
Source 2's been around for a while though, but it wasn't
enable
Counter-Strike.
the tactician to use axe and sword melee abilities with a bow.
What the fuck? That's crazy. A what? A bow. You use it's the front of the boat because it's like, imagine that.
Let's see what do I
One of
say
the
here.
classes just sails a boat around the map.
Developers did mention that they are re-rigging animations, which have made things like bows using melee animations possible in Path of Exile 2. Pretty cool.
That's cool.
We don't have a whole lot of information on the other ascendancies, but we do have some names and concepts. Here's the Defiler, a new witch ascendancy. And the Arcanist, another witch ascendancy that will have a heavy focus on lightning damage and charging up energy.
Oh, I like that.
There's also the Reaver, a war leader ascendancy for the Marauder, which will grant powerful bonuses to allies around it.
That's cool to have things that are built more towards group content. But like, let's be honest, what is that really gonna be? You're the war leader and you got a bunch of fucking minions. I think that's gonna be cool. If that's actually the way it works, I might play that. That's badass.
We go for like custom games and stuff as well, because like there's new map editor and stuff.
Avatars and ancestral abilities.
Nah, this shit's stupid. I always thought every chieftain build I ever seen's been stupid. Except for the one I played. And that one was stupid too. Man, that one pissed me the fuck off. I hated that shit.
New ascendancies are pretty exciting, but there's also going to be new weapon types too. We know of at least two of them. The crossbow and the spear.
Crossbow. Well, how can it be a crossbow if it's attacked 1.1 seconds? Like, I feel like that's. I feel like if you use a crossbow, like you should only be able to attack like every 3 seconds, but like whenever you do attack, it'll do like something crazy. I feel like that the idea of a crossbow is that you do like big dick hits. Slower than bows? Yeah, hell yeah.
What do you want?
These new weapons seem to hint at a new direction in terms of gameplay in regards to your choice of weapon, as both of them
I just can't see like what's the difference between so is a crossbow like
will grant new skills. Crossbows grant implicit attack skills such as Power Shot, a high damage single target ability. Instead of socketing attack skills, you can socket crossbow bolt types to augment the attack abilities and change what they do. We know of at least
I just wonder how much different is that going to be from bow on a functional level.
3 types of bolts: armor piercing, incendiary, and permafrost. Meanwhile, the spear will allow you to use new engage and disengage abilities to provide freedom of movement and more interesting combat.
Okay.
Aside from what we've already discussed in this video, there are a few more tidbits of information we have about Path of Exile 2. We know that there will be a new gem type called metagems, which the developers described as the opposite of an active skill gem.
They stole that from Burning Crusade, World of Warcraft. Yeah. Look at that.
Instead of socketing support gems into an active skill gem, you will socket active gems into metagems. Like this proficiency metagem for auras, which will allow you to turn all of your auras on or off with a single hotkey. Cast on critical strike support.
Neat is right. Cool. Like, I feel like there's a part of me Like, getting mad after you die to a boss, and then turning all of your auras on as you run back to the boss, I feel like that's like a Zen energy thing. Now, they should definitely have this on, but like, there is a fucking vibe that creates.
And spell totem support will also be meta-gems. Speaking of spell totem, the developers also talked about tentative plans for new AI options to allow your spell totems to use skills in certain orders.
That's cool.
In this example, they showcased a spell totem setup that will curse any uncursed enemies in the area before moving on to use other skills.
Okay.
On the discussion of AI, they also mentioned that monster packs will have more interesting AI in Path of Exile 2.
Oh, great. So now then fucking Diablo 3 and PoE, Diablo 4 and PoE 2, you're gonna have a bunch of range mobs running away from you. Ah, shit. I thought I was gonna be able to get away with it in this game. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be another spider fucking webs you and runs away. I can't wait.
Such as patrolling areas where appropriate. Of course, you can also expect other upgrades such as UI elements, like this new character sheet, which will provide information that is better laid out and easier to find.
I hope they have another option that is the same as the old one, because the old one had like more like information. I think it's good to have something like this for casual and intermediate players, for sure.
And look at this new skill gem stat screen too. During a discussion,
yeah, that's really nice. That is so nice to have. Wow.
Path of Exile.
Not too bad, just chilling. How about yourself?
That's
like
the pre-existing bone
many games and shit.
Or the new skills like those granted by the Beastmaster.
Oh, that hasn't been on. It's been a few weeks, isn't it?
Path of Exile 2 instead of granting a static value like they
We've been playing anyway.
They weren't sure yet if this would be tied to level progress or based on when you take each ascendancy notable.
Okay.
The developers also talked about how the new ascendancy notables in Path of Exile 2 are designed to have far less clutter stats and instead focus on 1 or 2 impacts.
That's good. Like
I
the
don't know what I want for all
always
that stuff.
feels bad spending one of your ascendancy points on like a connector node that just you do 10% increased area damage. Like okay. Cool.
I'm just staying up for a while,
Yeah, just get rid of
and
some
then.
of those.
Well, I'm playing through this a bit. I might play some Yakuza soon. Just play through as much as I can.
To the same level. Well,
yeah, I have no
that's
doubt.
just about all we know about Path of Exile 2. The project was slated for a 2022 release prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, which ultimately impacted the planned schedule. But by how much? Will we see a 2023 release?
I feel like you are 100% gonna see a lot of news about PoE 2 at ExileCon 2023.
Oh yeah.
It's not even a question. I think it's a fucking fact. Now, is PoE 2 gonna come out this year? Yeah, I could see that happening at the end of the year. Yeah, sure. Because you gotta keep in mind, like, PoE 2 is not PoE 2. It's like Overwatch 2. Where, like, they're making a lot of fundamental changes. They're upgrading the graphics. They're changing, like, some systems. But at the end of the day, it's basically the same game. It's really PoE 1.5. So I could see it coming out this year, absolutely. However, one thing that makes me think
I'm just zooming through this one.
is
The
that
build I have now, it's not OP like, but it will be eventually.
and so that means
Well, it'll
I have
probably OP, but it'll be really strong.
probably 5 months, 4 months to do all of the beta testing and everything. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's not a lot of time. Cause like I knew that there was Diablo 4 like closed betas going on for like the last 6 months. So I don't know.
Yeah, just zooming through everything.
I hope so. I really hope so, but we'll see.
We'll likely find out that and a lot more about Path of Exile 2 at ExileCon on July 29th and 30th.
I just have to look at chat just before it happened.
Out by clicking the thumbs up and subscribing for more content like this in the future. I'm Dreamcore. This was everything we know about Path of Exile 2, and as always, stay tuned and stay safe.
I'm really excited about this. Is
I
great
got
video.
that not that long ago.
This is so clean, so well put together. This dude only has 400 fucking subscribers. I'm gonna link you guys to the video. Now get 1 product. This actually a really well put together video. Absolutely, yeah. 100% very good video. Yeah. TTS. Who gives a fuck if it's TTS? If it works, it works. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I thought New Zealand was only in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, New Zealand's not a real place. It's only in the first movie. But yeah, I'm very much excited about PoE 2. Absolutely. Now, I have to see more of like how much of the game is going to be completely changed, how much of it is going to be PoE 1.1. I don't know exactly, but I am super fucking excited for this game.
What? The jump scare thing?
Alliance primary from the video on
it works a lot of times, so
though you one
it's
that
not
is
too much.
really causing the hype is this one right here, destabilizing rounds. This is a brand new perk just added this season, and it says final blows cause nearby targets to become volatile. Not many weapons have this perk. In fact, the Hero's Burden is the only primary weapon in the entire game that can get destabilizing rounds. Now you guys know volatile rounds is one of the most powerful things you can be doing in PvE. Right now, Void builds are absolutely popping off in PvE content, especially thanks to Void being one of the featured elements this season, and the fact that the seasonal artifact has some absolutely beyond busted perks that actually improve Void even more so, such as Volatile Flow. Hey, you pick up an Orb of Power that you want to be doing anyways because you're getting armor charged. Yeah, now you get
this.
2 pities. Then
I'm gonna change the game. Yakuza time. Pretty far into this now. Yeah, I got back, but I still have to get all the contacts and all. Discord useless. But there's a way I can get the contacts back at least. But it's gonna take fucking ages to add everyone back. Oh, sorry. I just need to wait for Discord to send me the thing. Alright. We're playing as a guy who used to be a baseball player, and we're trying to find out what happened, because, like, he played one major match and won, and then his life went to shit. Look at his minigame. He has, like, every character in 5 has, like, their own, like, mini thing that they can do. Like raise his stats and stuff. This guy's one you play baseball. I've leveled up a lot of stuff already. Done all the side missions. I just need to do the main ones for this. Alright, let's see. Actually, I've already done the story bit for this one. I just need to do the thing. Basically, if I hit it when it turns yellow, it's a home run. I've leveled up so much, like, look how big the home run spot is. Make 5 home runs. You got this. Yep. Story I don't really care about for this thing, so I'm just kind of skipping through it. There's like a whole side story thing. But I'm just there for that state, not about anything. I might no, that Discord doesn't exist anymore. I need to change that because that Discord got deleted. Remember, Discord can't recover Discords, which is stupid. There's the new one, but like I haven't done anything with it yet. That one. Good one. Alright, let's beat this guy. Typhoon runs, okay. Maybe the event link's being weird. Legit invite through Discord, so should work now. Okay. Two more. Oops. Oh, I need two. Long. You see them, they really like some fancy skills every now and then. I finish this. Basically, that guy, the guy in the black outfit. Yeah, he hates us. He wants revenge for beating him years ago. How does he want this time? Oh, he's gonna pitch against us, is he? Is he gonna throw the ball at us? It's a whole storyline about baseball. I don't really care about baseball. Alright. Oh, and you hit, you get 5 hits. Oh yeah. You got this. I have one more to go. What if people want to fight us now? One more mission after this though, so. Level up. I said the auto level, so there you go. Basically maxed our really maxed out all our baseball shit. I might as well just finish this up because there's only one more left. Yeah, this is the guy like this is the guy that started all this shit. He's been training for this. At least it shows up on the thing. Good job for me. At least it works though. Ah, here we go. I made an 8 hit. 5 home runs. Okay, I can do that. Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's going to be like a heart-to-heart kind of thing after. Stone. There we go, we're finished with that. Big achievement. Go on. So you get like extra abilities and stuff. Going back in would be there again. Because I finished that, there's something I can collect. Let's go see what item will unlock then, I guess. We're supposed to shop. This guy's whole thing is he's weapons. Each character has like their own thing. You'll see now. Let's go trap it.
ちょっととりあえず金くれや。何？暇なの？調子乗ってました。許してください。ちょっと。
I don't do this like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Go do the side quest.
そこのお兄さんちょっと殴らせろよ。まったくさ。
調子乗ってました。許してください。
I actually need that. Maybe we don't.
こうしてプロ野球界に帰ってこられましたのも多くの方々の努力とご支援があってのこと。遅すぎる春はないと信じ、日々地道に努力を続けてまいりました。多くの人々に希望を与えられるよう頑張ります。
Is your setup like people like
こいつ
without the
あの
matches?
野球賭博事件の時のワイバーンズの監督だろう。いや監督復帰できたもんだわ。しかもよりによってあのギガンツの監督何にも知らないくせにバカが。ああ兄ちゃん俺らいえ親の出からワイバーンズ一つ。あいつはなワイバーンズ時代に不正行為をしとった名古屋のつらい。そんな証拠監督は騒動の責任を一手に受けて。すいませんついちょっと顔かしゃおら。すっきりしたぜ。今年のワイバーンズの成績にはよどえりゃストレス溜まっとったでや。でも
ちゃん、今ええか？
うん。
どうしたん？実はお店の子たちとお客さん少なくて
そうだな。
じゃあ
I tend to get to where we need to go. Let's go to the convenience store and see what the item is well unlocked. Alright, let's go. Where am I going? You go fishing as well, there's something I mentioned. I'll probably have to do it after all this. Oh, cutscene.
たっちゃん。なにたっちゃんその傷。
別に大したことないよ。
なんかあったの？
ミルクちゃん、忘れちゃいたい過去ってある？
そりゃこんな仕事しとるとね、覚えとりたいことの方が少ないがね。
そっか。
時々ね、自分のことを誰も知らん街に行って別の自分になってやり直したいって思う時あるわ。
俺もそう思ってこの街で生きるようになってもう15年。
懐かしいがね、たっちゃんが初めてこのお店に来た日。
あの日は寂しくてしょうがなかった。誰でもいいから俺のことを知らない人と話がしたい気分だった。で入ったのがこの下の太ももクラブ。
ほんで着いたのが私。確かフリーの50分。
ミルクちゃんは何も聞かずに抱きしめてくれたんだよね。
そりゃそうだわ、それが仕事だで。
そう、ミルクちゃんにとっては仕事。でも俺はミルクちゃんのぬくもりに触れたから変な道に進むことなく踏みとどまれたんだ。それなのに。ねえ、二人でどっか行っちゃわない？明日の始発でこの街を出るんだ。
素敵ね、映画みたい。
知らない街に行って知らない人間になってさ。
どうせなるんだったら私小学校の先生になりたいがね。小さい頃の夢だったんだわ。
なれるさ、絶対なれるって。別の自分でも。俺は何になろう。ああ、そうだな。
はい、フリーで40分。はーい、今すぐ降ります。ありがとね、たっちゃん。さあ、向き合わないかんわね。現実に。
ミルクちゃ
ん。もう逃げるには遅すぎるんだわ。
That's the guy who owes money to. Ouch.
っとちょっと待って待って。ちょっとそこのおっさん、お手合わせ願おうか。
まったくさ。
Yeet.
Chotto, ちょっとちょっと。あーダリー、マジダリー。まってことで死んでくれ。
What? Alright, I guess that guy's gonna visit us until it's off because he was there. Nothing's really happened to this guy yet. I guess I'll start picking up soon.
Oh yeah. お前あの音
もう過去から逃げ、どうして俺が球界を永久。
そもそもや当時ニュースになったとはいえ
15年前のワイバーンズ一打サヨナラのチャンスにワイバーンズ藤田監督がそれがプロ初打席となる無名の対するピッチャーはギガンツのエース澤田。澤田の必要なカーブを俺はカットして粘り、そして運命の7球目、澤田が初めて投げたストレートを俺のバットが捉え、打球はスタンド席に吸い込まれていった。俺の人生で最高の瞬間だった。
だがそのホームランにケチがついた。
そう、その翌日、あのサヨナラホームランが不正行為、サイン等の結果によるものだったとして取り消されたんだ。相手チームのサインは見てはいけない。見えたとしても解読しようとしてはいけない。それが野球の掟なんだ。
お前がサイン等を行っていたという証拠でも出てきたのか。
いや、そういうわけじゃない。
ならどうして？
俺がギガンツのサインを盗むように命令して、スタンド席からそれを俺に伝えるように指示されていたという男が名乗り出たんだ。そいつの証言が元でプロ野球連盟と警察が捜査に乗り出したってわけ。
誰なんだそいつは？
俺の高校の野球部の後輩だった。 俺から多額の金をもらって引き受けたけど、両親が咎め自首したんだってさ。
だがお前はそんな命令をした覚えはない。
当然でしょ。金を渡すどころか。
じゃあそいつがお前に濡れ衣。
さあね。俺もなんでそのすぐ後。
なんだと？まさか他の誰かに消されたってことなのか？
さあ、それはどうだろう。どちらにしろ俺一人では真相を探れそうにもなかった。とにかく俺はその日からずっと自分の過去から目を背け、風俗ライターとして生きてきたんだ。
はあ。ん？お前サイン取って
ことが野球賭博に関係していると見られたからね。一選手が打率を上げたいがためにやったことならまだしも、でかい金が動く挙句チーム全体にまで捜査の手は伸びること。
ってことはひょっとしたらワイバーンズを潰すために仕込まれた罠だったって可能性もあるってことか？
そうだとしたらそれは結果的に失敗だね。あの事件で、それにあとは藤田監督が騒動の責任を取らされ。
藤田か。東京で監督に復帰したみたいだな。
この人はあの一件で俺以上に人生を狂わせちまった人なんだよ。
お前が一軍にいたのが一日だけなら。
そんなことない。二軍の指導法じゃ俺本来の良さが出ないって言って、そのアドバイスがあって。
恩師みたいなものだったってことか。
でもそう考えたことなかったけど、藤田監督を失脚させるために俺を利用したって可能性もあったのか。だとしたら俺本当に自分が情け。
まあ本当の狙いが誰であれってなきゃ。とりあえずだ、当時のチームメイトとかに。
球団を辞めてからさっきも言ったように今さら合わせる顔唯一知ってるとしたら、球団
マッサージ師？
うん。今小さな鍼灸院やってる風俗狂いなんだけど、チーム名
その
オビータ通りとつむ。
Sorry if I don't talk too much. I'm just kind of in pure story mode.
ここか。
いるかな、宇野さん。宇野さんいる？
留守。
宇野さんまたどっかの風俗。
だったらここで待つとしよう。
それが今宇野さん俺から3万回収しようとしてたくらいだから。
じゃあ
そんな時は決まって写真見学回り。
じゃあいつ帰ってくるかも
探しに行くしかない。宇野さんは新人好きだから新しい子が入った店をしらみつぶしにさ。
ん
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Almost.
Get it together, sweetie. We have a show this weekend.
いらっしゃいませ。
Yeah. Hunting someone down at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
上じゃないわ、ハク。
Hmm?
Yeah.
We're basically trying to hunt this guy down. This one's going around the corner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just zoom to the left of the map.
Oh. 遊ぶ気もあれせんのに来るん。
なんでだよ。
これでも30分も写真だけ見とるやん。
お、品田、返せ。すぐ俺の3万返せ。本物の新人発見したんだ。
働きなよ、宇野さん。鍼灸院ほったらかしてこんなことばっかりしてるから。
てめえが言ったことか。さあ返せ。
ちょっと待って、今日は聞きたいこと。
金が先だ。
俺が立て替えて払ってやる。
いや、
なんで風俗行けるんだ。
俺はお前と違ってヤバいやつには関わ。
別に借りるわけじゃなくて返してもらうんだから。
嫌なこったい。ああいうやつは一度関わると骨の髄まで。だがお前からいつかきっちり返してもらうからな。
参ったな。
品田。
え？
もしもーし。実は今か。はい。よろしくお願いします。あのエロ親父、風俗代が手に入ると思ってウキウキしてたぞ。
じゃあ。
ちょっとお手合わせ願おうか。
もう何なんだよ。
品田、大丈夫か？
なんとか。
危うく死ぬとこだったぞ。
本当だよ。全くどうなってんだ。
Okay. We're just dropping shit on us.
おい。なんなんだ今日は。運が悪いにも程があるぞ。
俺も帰りたくなってきた。
いい加減にしときゃ。
あ、単純。
いらっしゃい。お前か。お、あの闇金屋の金だろ？
その闇金屋ならここにいるけど。
15年ぶりだな。
俺も性感以外のマッサージを受けるのは宇野さん以外に筋肉
トレーナー冥利に尽きる言葉だ。
宇野さん、どうして球団専属辞めちゃったの？宇野さんほど腕のいいトレーナーはそうはいない。球団も必死に引き止めたでしょうに。
チームに帯同して日本中の風俗巡りできるのは良かったんだがな。朝が早かっただろ。だから早朝割引が使えなかったのが悔しくてな。まあそういう面じゃ今の方がありがてえよ。
まった、こんな時まで冗談言わないの。
クビになったんだよ俺も。15年前お前が追放されたのとほとんど同時期だ。俺の他にいい球団専属トレーナーが見つかったからって開幕前に契約延長して、少なくともそのシーズンは専属が決まってたってのに、その直後いきなりクビだなんて言われたんだ。
知らなかった。
お互い過去の話はしなかったからな。それなりに花のあった野球界から突然放り出されて、何が何だかわからないまま気づけば15年。こんな生活もお互い板についたもんだよな。で、
いや、宇野さん、俺が球界を追放になって誰か得した人って。
どうした？得をした人間いるわけねえだろ。監督、選手、ファン、誰もいいことなんてあれしなかった。おまけにヤクザまで損したもんだ。
ヤクザ？
覚えてねえか？ お前の八百長容疑がきっかけになって野球賭博が一斉摘発されたの。
ああ、そういや。
当時この辺りで賭博の利権を持ってた2つの組は摘発のせいでしのぎ削れなくなって名古屋から撤退したって話だ。
2つの組？
ああ、東と西のでっかい組だよ。
東上会と近江連合だっけ？昨日牛島さんの店でその組の人たち見たよ。
お前、あん時のプロ野球選手だってバレたらぶっ殺されてもおかしくないぜ。
大丈夫だよ。禁営で俺の過去を知ってるのは宇野さんだけだし。
なんであんなことが起きちまったんだろうな。みんなただ野球をやってただけなのに何が野球賭博だ。
結局宇野さんに聞いても手がかりなしか。
よし、当たり前だろ。俺を誰だと思ってんだよ。
悪いね宇野さん。
ま、おかげ
じゃ。
ん？
な。宇野さん？
思い出した。まさかあの時の携帯のせいなのか。
携帯がどうかしたんですか？
ほら、さっき話したろ。15年前俺が突然クビになった時のことだ。実はあの時も今みたいに選手がマッサージルームに忘れていった携帯を届けたことがあったんだ。
ああ、誰の携帯？
あれは、そう、確か真鍋だ。真鍋の携帯だった。
ああ、真鍋さん。
真鍋っつったら、そうだ。あの時これ誰の携帯だ？その日マッサージルームに忘れてあった携帯を見つけた俺は、
おい、どこだ？俺の携帯がなくなっとるぞ。誰か知らんか？おい、タゲ！なんでてめえが持ってるんだ？ああ？
真鍋は俺から携帯を取り上げると必死になって何かをチェックした。ちょっと真鍋さん、ありがとうの一言くらい言ってくれても。ちょっと。
それよりおめえ、携帯の中。
あの時の真鍋の目、あれは普通のもんじゃなかった。
携帯の中には何があったんだ？
さあ、あの頃は俺もまだ自分の携帯なんて持ってなかったから使い方がよく分からず何も見やしなかった。だが今思えばあの時の真鍋の態度はちょっと変だった。
ひょっとしてその携帯野球賭博に関係していたとか、メールで指示が来ていたとか。
ありえるな。あんたは野球賭博に
そうか。
真鍋さんを調べてみる必
要。確か5年ぐらい前。
ああ、その後いろいろ事業を起こしたんだが、
焼肉屋。
一度食いに行ってやったら追い返された。そう思うと。
焼肉屋、俺。
うん。
気をつけろよ。平田。危うく。
本当だよ。
I'll be back in a second. Right. I think I'll head off soon, Hawk. Gotta get some sleep. I'm gonna be doing all night tomorrow night, yeah. Like, I thought I'd be doing long night tonight, but I'm actually I'm content out. I'll finish this chapter off. Oh.
マナブさん。覚えてませんか？
本当？
思い出してもらえて。
身なりが変わってまって気ぃつかんかった。
バッターとしての品田が忘れられないっていう意味じゃねえよな。
うん？あんたは
品田の連れだ。気にしないでくれ。
マナブさん、仕事中申し訳ないんですが、ちょっと聞きたいことがあって。
何の用だ。できることならあんたの面なんて見たねえわ。
おいおい、15年ぶりに訪ねてきた後輩に対してあんまりじゃねえのか。それともこいつに嗅ぎ回られたくないことでもあるのか。
俺以上その言葉を口にするな。死にたなかったらな。
あからさまな脅しだな。これじゃ疑ってくださいって言ってるようなもんじゃねえか。
右脳に聞いてきたんか。聞きたいこと言うのは15年目のことか。
はい。でももちろん俺は野球賭博があったなんて思ってない。実際俺はサイン盗なんてしてなかったわけですから。
ほんなら何が聞きたい？
確認しておきたいんです。当時ワイバーンズの中心選手だったあなたの口から野球賭博はなかったと聞きたい。それだけです。
話したるわ。だでこれ以上その件について探ろうとするな。いいか。野球賭博はあった。誰からの指示かわからん。だが勝敗を操作するためにサインとその指示に逆らった選手はなぜか数ヶ月以内に球団を去って。だで俺たちは野球選手であり。
そんな。でもずっと球団にいたけど俺。
あんたは一軍にたった1日おっただけだ。不正行為の指示を受け取った。
こんなに。
肉も野球。客に出される肉はよ、こういった食べれいせん筋を裏方が必死になって取ってまって、手間暇かけて綺麗になった一部分を表に出すんだ。
You should try the Yakuza games.
野球にだって表には出す必要もねえ。 だでよ、海や肉食うに知らんでえん。
俺にとってここまで知ってしまってはいす。
真鍋さん、あんたはもう野球界離れてる。当時の野球賭博のことを公にしても時効で罪に問われない。その黒幕は誰だったのか。
思わんこともなかったが、危険を冒してまで突き止めようとは思わんかった。
危険？
実際ワイバーンズから他球団に八百長に耐えきれんかったんだろう。
事故？
だで俺以上探るのはやめろ。もはや危険な目に遭っとるんじゃないか。もう身に覚えぐらいあるだろう。
そう、まさか。
もう帰れ。
最後に一つ聞かせてください。なんで危険だということは承知していた。
結果的におめえが追放されたことをきっかけに、いやだっておめえには知る権利がある。そう。
俺が追放されて野球賭博が。
さっきの質問が最後だと言ったろ。これ以上首を突っ込むことが。
店長。
おお。
今のコメディですね。Bill and the ready to kill you know off.
そうか、言ってた。八百長。
答えは簡単だ。
野球賭博を。
お
お。だけど、いや、
ヤクザが利権を奪う。
いや、東上会と近江が去った直後、この土地で。
そうか。
あ。
誰がだよ。
名古屋組だよ。
確かに東上会と近江、東西の大勢力が仕切ってた。
まさか15年前のホームラン。
野球賭博を利用して東上、そのためのサイン盗疑惑。
それが真相だとした。品田、
名古屋組か。俺を名古屋組の組長と。
やめとけ。真鍋の言ってた通り。
なんで高杉さん、そうすりゃ報酬がもらえる。
俺は別に。
高杉さんだけど。
すまん。俺は名古屋。
え？
その名古屋組の名前を使えばみんな。
そんな。
実際のとこ名古屋組って組織は謎だらけの組織なんだよ。
じゃああんたなんかにビビることなかった。
なんたとこら。
ケツ持ちのいねえ金貸しなんだ。
こんなとこで。とにかくこれではっきりしたんだ。高杉さんに借金。
だからその名古屋組ってのも。
でも
ガス漏れてんぞ。
誰だ。
Oh shit, so I need to go off all?
どういういやなんで
危ない。
あ
これひでえ。
事故。え？あそこの屋上に人影が見えた。
屋上って？
視力は 2.0。動体視力にも自信がある。
どんなやつだったんだよ。
なんでこんな知った顔だ。
誰なんだ。
ワイ・バーンズ、酒井さん。
酒井？どうしてお前が？
酒井さん、
答えろよ。
こOkay, it's monsters.
酒井さん、
元気にやっとらせる。勝手だいうことは分かっとる。
そんなもん持って
品田、犠牲フライ。チームのために犠牲になる。品田、後悔してももう遅いでよ。
酒井さん、頼むから話してほしい。どうしてこんな真似を。
たまたまあの時よ、おめえが一軍に昇格してきたことでよ、一軍の中でおめえだけが事情を知らせんちゅう都合のいい状況が生まれてまってよ。俺はな、品田、おめえには悪いことしたと思っとるが、おめえを犠牲にしてまったことを全然後悔しとらせん。
犠牲？
おう、おめえは名古屋のために犠牲になってまったんだわ。
名古屋の犠牲って何なんだよ。どういう意味なんだよ。はっきり言ってくれ、酒井さん。
そりゃ、お
酒井さん、酒井さん、おい。
ダメだ、死んでる。
俺が名古屋の犠牲になったってどういうことなんだ。
本当にいいんですか？
もちろん。ボールはお客さんのもんですから。また明日も明後日も打てばいいだけの話っす。ホームランボールの1個や2個どうってことないっすよ。
でも
大丈夫ですって。ここだけの話なんですけど、俺自分で打った球とかをお客さんから譲ってもらって保存するようなやつ好きじゃないんすよ。なんかちっちゃいって思いません？ほら、あなたは俺のファン1号。そのボールが高い値で売れるよう俺もこれから頑張りますから。
一応これも証拠品に回しとけ。
あ？
品田達夫さんですね。
あ？
加減吐いたらどうなんだ。
だからやってないもんはやってないんですって。っていうかいい加減返してもらえませんか。明日から広島との A クラスをかけた試合もあるんで。
じゃあこいつを見てもまだそんなこと言っとれるんかな。知っとる男なんだな。
地元の後輩です。
この写真の男がギガンツのキャッチャーのサインを盗むようあんたに頼まれたと証言したそうだ。
写ってる男は確かに後輩だよ。でも金を渡してるのは俺じゃねえ。つうかこんなの馬鹿げてる。だいたいこの写真に写ってるのだって俺だって証拠はないじゃんか。こんないたずらを真に受けてる警察も警察だ。何やってんだよ。もうたくさんだ。こんなとこ監禁されてたら体がなまっちまう。帰らせてくれ。
おめえ名古屋ワイバーンズの勝利に200万かけとったらしいがね。
この写真の男がな、おめえが野球賭博に関与しとったとも証言しとるんだ。何言ってんだあんた。野球賭博で儲けたくて金払ってサイン盗ませとったんだろう。そんなわけないでしょ。だいたい球種が分かってたからって簡単にホームランなんて打てねえ。少し考えれば分かることだろう。
そう興奮するな品田。おみやの場合もはや社会的制裁を受け取るで。素直に認めれば起訴猶予ということも十分あり得るんだ。
社会的制裁？俺が？何の話だ？
聞いとるせんのか。おめえは野球協会から永久追放処分を受けたんだわ。
永久追放？
みーちゃん、どう？紹介した仕事は。ちゃんとお風呂で稼げばさ、借金返済、身も心もきれいになって出直せるってもんよ。ん？顎が痛い。そんなの当たり前だろうが。借金まみれの女が泣き言言ってんじゃねえよ。だいたいそんなこと言ってっからお前な。悪い。こっちの話だよ。いいから文句言わないで働けよ。それじゃあ。どうした？今日仕事ってわけでもねえのに、パソコンなんか使って何見てんだ？
この15年間の沢田の投球データだよ。
データ？なんだよこれ。
そこらの。
どうしたんだよこれ。
いや、
まさかお前
やめられないんだよね。
お前これ沢田のやつだ。
12球団全一軍投手のデータ。
なんで
高杉さん、前に球種が分かっていてもホームランなんて打てないって話したじゃない。実はあれ半分本当で半分嘘なんだ。プロの世界じゃ来た球を打ち返すってだけじゃ一流の場。相手の配球を8割方分かった上でその球を打ち返す。そのうちどのくらいの確率で前に打球を飛ばせるかが一流と二流を分ける差となる。
じゃあお前はあのホームラン狙って打ったっていうのか？
ああ。あの時俺は知ってた。6球連続カーブの後、ツーナッシングから沢田がストレートを投げてくるってね。
で、今さらこんなもん見てな。配球データの奥に。
いや、真鍋さんや酒井さんの言ってたことが
なんだそれ。
真鍋さんは俺が球界を追放されたあの事件の。確かにデータを見る限り、ワイ・バーンズは15年前のあの試合を境に
そんなのデータ。
野球ってのは驚くくらい。
なるほどな。
それだけじゃない。それまでの地元出身の選手を優先的に取る方針から外国。
それじゃ酒井ってやつが言ってた話と逆じゃねえか。あれって
そうなんだよ。もっと大きな
町。
俺も高杉さんもこの町の裏側をもしかしたら
15年前。
ああ。
誰かそ
れならもってこいの
顔役。
商店街会長をしてる大人。俺がこの辺に流れ着いた時からよくしてくれてる人でね。
マシナ。おっ。
そこのおっさん、待てや。最 イブ置いて消えろよ。勘弁してよね。こりゃ勝てるな。もう殴らないでください。ごめんなさい。
おう、何こんな時間に。
いや、今日は聞きたいこと。
付け代払うまで出入り禁止って
付け代を。
ああ、あんたか。
どういう風に聞いてる？
ま、俺と
なんだ？
もしかして。
当然。
で、
名古屋界隈。
おお。
ちょっと仕事。
この辺りっていうのは、例えばそう名古屋組。
なんだ？
どうして？
俺らは
恩義って
15年前本日町通りを境目にと裏じゃそのとばちりを受けて
今こんな。
当時まあ賭博の利権に限る。ほんでもある事件がきっかけとなって2つの組は名古屋から出てってまった。15年前の
あれか。
ま、俺はろくにその東上会と近江連合とこの辺が極道には変わらんだろうが不名誉の事件が起こった。
名古屋の
点と点が。あんた
ら何のためにボスが誰かなんて知らん。誰だろう。この町でしょ。
たっちゃん。
とりあえ
ずわからんけど男今後を追って。
ミルクちゃん。 高杉さん。
たくよ、お前。
高杉。じゃあ牛島さん、また何。ああ、そうそう。
I'll be on there anyway. Take it easy, chat. See us there on the night. Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 4 tonight. Yeah, baby.